Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, like this. Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Morning. How are you?
Hi.
Fine. Okay. Let's see if everybody is arriving. Up. Back. I hope that everybody got the infos. How do you? Okay, see, I can see you. You are arriving. How was the week? I can. Okay, because you are. Everybody is muted, but okay, everybody is muted because maybe it's the time you are arriving. But if anyone want to talk about their week and how the graphic journaling is going, I can see everybody.
I've been journaling because it's been a full moon in Scorpio and it's driven me crazy. So, at some points in my days, I was like, I'm just gonna draw a cup, a kettle, my glasses, whatever, so I can forget about all the crazy.
I don't understand all this. The full moon. I don't know which is the difference between in Scorpio or in every other sign, but I was crazy too with this full moon. I was like, so I can relate for the Cancerian. And we will have one exercise that is done when you don't know what to draw. Something you can just go for. We are going to do it. Is there anybody else who want to talk about their week? Some of you are already how do you say in English? That you are out of lockdown, like the Italians are out of the lockdown. Yes, Laura do like this. So is there one Italian who want to talk about how does it feel? We have only one Italian, no, let me see. No, c'è Bri, eccola, esatto, Sezgi, Laura, let me check. No, Barbara is in Argentina. Do anyone want to tell us? Marty is in Ireland, so away. How is it going?
I'm in Istanbul, so can you hear me? Yeah, I've been stranded. My flight was cancelled, so I've been in Istanbul the whole time.
I understand that the opposite, that you were.
I'm living in Rome for 10 years now.
Okay.
And I was in Istanbul just for a month, and then my flight back was cancelled. So now I'm living in Istanbul for 3 months.
Okay. At the beginning, I understood the contrary, that you were blocked in Rome instead of going back to Istanbul, and it was the opposite. So just.
No, I grew up here in Istanbul, so I have my family and my friends, and
Rome.
I'm with my partner. And in Rome, I have all my life because it's been,
yes.
But here we don't have a lockdown like it was in Italy, but only on weekends we are in lockdown.
Okay.
And on weekdays, who has to work goes to work.
Okay.
And the rest is expected to stay at home, and we sometimes we get too much of staying at home and we go out, and sometimes we do stay at home, but it all depends of your
Anyone.
your own decisions.
Okay, okay.
So when I go out, I always want to stay there, sit down and draw. But in Istanbul, there are too many people out all the time. So I say, okay, it's not the best decision.
Interesting, yes.
But I started to draw in front of TV series. Usually it's too fast for me. But it's something that we all do, especially in these days. So I started with I don't know, pencils.
Okay. You draw what you see in the TV. You use the TV as a model.
Yeah, I started with like when I watch a TV series. And I started with Mrs. America because it goes in the 70s and everyone has, you know, aviator glasses and very classic hair styles. So it's kind of easier to find one specific character.
Okay.
And then I had some confidence and I went to ink. So now this is another series. It's there are two main characters, and the girl has bangs, so she's easy to see to draw. I lost your video, by the way. Okay. Yes, now you're back.
Okay, perfect.
So this is because usually most days the days go by fast, and sometimes I don't have a moment to draw. I don't know why, but when I sit in front of a TV series, I feel guilty. But if I sit in front of a TV series with my journal, then I am practicing, and at least I'm losing some of my fears.
Of course.
So this was something that I exercised this week.
I guess it's very cool. I don't know if some of you do this, like drawing while you listen to a podcast or while you watch a Netflix series. Can be helping because your mind is occupied by making sense of something else, like listening to the podcast or listening to the TV series, the show. And so your instinctive part, your movement side can draw without thinking too much about it. You can just go. And also, this can happen the opposite way, maybe for the one who are here who are a professional illustrator. You can listen to a podcast, for example, while coloring. But if you need your mind to make sense of the drawing, because maybe you are projecting, how do you say, I don't know, I think about Brie or for a rock poster, Brie do rock sorry, maybe, yes, I can say, yeah, what everybody do. It's okay, it was instinctive. Or someone else, if you're doing an illustration and you need to make sense of the space and the lettering, I don't know, the colors, maybe you can't listen to the podcast in this moment because you need your brain. But sometimes when you are journaling, when you are drawing from a more instinct place, which is the place we are working on in this, how do you say, in this meeting we are doing. In this case, maybe occupying your mind can be helpful, because we are looking for going to some more instinctive place. And so maybe using your concentration on something else can free yourself. I don't know if it does it feels right for some of you, or can you, okay, I see everybody doing like this. I see you on 2 different pages, so I do, okay, like this. Hi everybody, now I can see you, everyone. So I wanted to say 2 things, because there is someone else who want to talk about their week before I go further? I don't want to cut your word if you want to say something. Okay. So for today, before we do our meditation and then start the exercise, I put aside maybe a lot of exercise, but as the other day we did, if we don't finish, we can report them on the week later, and it's okay. So on what I want to work this week is balancing some technical skills on drawing characters, sometimes using some simple way to just go for a character, but in the same time balancing since it's a journal, and balancing the recalling technique, and also how we can discover how we can transform some memory, something we have in our mind in an image and putting on the paper, which is something we already do. You don't need me to teach you. Even last week when we did the scribble, and then you transform your scribble in the monster, you know that you already can see an abstract image or something and put it on the paper, since you could see some form, some character in the scribble you did, and then we translated it. Also, another thing before starting, I would like to make a little approfondimento, I don't know how to say in English, like dig a little deeper. Like when we started at the journaling class, I always say, if you do a drawing, is it bad, is it good, the drawing don't care, you don't judge your work, and you just turn the pages and you go on, which is true. But in the meantime, I don't want you to put pressure on your shoulder if you ever judge your drawing. Like if you do something and you are like, my drawing is shit. So you catch yourself, judge your drawing. It's okay. You can cut there and maybe just make a cry, or maybe take the page and rip it off. You can, it's your journal. The thing that maybe you can notice is, and maybe you want to try to avoid, is don't enter in the loop of, fuck, I'm judging my drawing, I don't have to, so I'm judging myself for judging the drawing, and you go in a spiral of like, and it's okay, we all do this, I do this all the time, and then I say, and I do this, but if I do this, it's okay. Just practicing the seeing of what happens, and maybe first time you can't cut it, maybe second time you can see from yourself from above doing this, and it's okay. Maybe third time you can see yourself doing this and maybe just stop it, like you cut and you say, no, I'm doing this, it's okay, whatever. But in any way, all feelings are okay. All feelings are, how do you say, are right. I don't like this way, but it's, all feelings are there and are school for us to understand the limit, and it's like a wall, and we do like this, but maybe we can see that the wall has a door, and once we found the door and we pass through the limit, we learn something. And so, okay, sorry, just I wanted to make this little introduction. We are going to do a small meditation, and you're going to put your journal in front of you. You can maybe start writing the date of today if you want, and you're going to keep your journal open handy, like in front, and also your pencil case or your brushes or your pens, you keep them close. So like the other time, we do a small meditation, and then I will give you a small exercise, always with the timer, just to start. So, okay, we start in as usual, we're gonna begin in a comfortable seated position. You can close your eyes and you sit up nice and tall through the spine. You can start breathing normally, and you can relax your shoulder and you settle in your seated. As usual, wherever your hands fall naturally, embrace that. Can be palms facing up, facing down, close in your lap, or one above another. Let's start listening to your body and be present with what this afternoon maybe have in store for you. We try to keep an open mind, and we take a moment to notice how we are breathing. And while we notice our breath, we drop our chin to our chest. And then while we inhale, we rise our nose up. Inhale. And then exhale, chin down. Inhale, nose up. And exhale, chin down. One more time, inhale, nose up, and exhale, chin down. Now back to the center, and take your hands to your belly gently, and begin to feel the breathing into your hands. Nice, full, mindful, slow exhalation, and your navel draws in. And inhale, and your belly expand. Exhale, navel draws in. Inhale, take in all the energy. And exhale, surrender. One more time. Exhale, navel draws in. see if you can allow this conscious breathing to affect your mood. And as usual, if your mind wanders, just gently notice it and come back to your breathing. Inhale, expand, exhale, and soften your face and the jaw. And just be present here. And slowly brings your hand to your heart. Gently bow your chin to the chest and mentally set an intention for your drawing activity. Can be a sentence, a word, something to be conscious of, or something you feel you have to write down, or something you need to hear. Doesn't need to be a to-do list, but just a sensation, an energy. And now we are going to spend the next 4 minutes drawing a self-portrait, but you are to see your self-portrait, you can, as usual, click on your face on Zoom, and it should make your face appearing in the whole screen. And you are going to look at yourself in the screen, and before starting drawing, you take 2 pens, okay? You watch yourself like mostly facing, not profile, and you take 2 pens and you draw with both hands. So you can, what you can do maybe is just doing the same drawing, the same movement with the both hand, but you can start by splitting your gaze. I mean, you can watch your face and then maybe right hand on the right eye and left hand on the left eye, and then you start like this, okay? You try, it's just an exercise to loosen your hand. So you look very well at your face and you can look down the paper, but as usually, the more you look on what you are drawing, and the more easy and the more you will be able to draw what you see and not what you imagine. The more you look at the paper and more you are making an abstraction of what you should draw without looking at it. But since it's a self-portrait, like real life self-portrait, look at yourself, take 2 pens, can be same type, can be 2 different color. You can start doing the same, you can mix, you have fun, and you stay with your breath, and the drawing is your anchor to come back if your mind wanders in fear or judgment. I think 3 minutes it's good. We will see. Okay, let's go. I could.
The question, it's only one drawing. You can't be doing like 2 drawings, one with each hand. Or...
Who is talking? I can't.
Estelle. Sorry.
I can't see you. Well, equity. Yes, you can. The drawing will be one.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
your self-portrait, and one hand can be doing something, and the other hand something else.
Okay.
But since our face is symmetrical, it can be easy to maybe use it to don't. If you find it hard, you can just doing as a mirror. You can move your hand as a mirror. Okay, perfect. Okay, I resume the timer, and I'm going to change the option because I can't see the one who's talking. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. How is it going? Is it 3 minutes is okay? Just to make a quick first page self-portrait.
Divertentissimo.
Ah, carina. I can, ok, eccoti. Perfect. I can see everybody. So, what we are going to do, the thing is that maybe I put too much exercises. Okay, what we are going to do now is just a quick exercise on it's just some technical tool, very basic, very simple. I already talked about Ivan Brunetti, which is American pronounce it maybe Ivan Brunetti. Hilary, maybe you can tell, because I always say Ivan Brunetti because it's an Italian name, but I guess he is American and maybe Italian origins. But I was listening to a podcast and someone say Ivan Brunetti, and I was like, ah. And anyway, he's a cartoonist and he wrote this book about philosophy of cartooning. I don't remember the title. I will pass it to you for his course, drawing course, and he made this quick schematic way of drawing characters. I think it's very funny, and to do it, I guess that I can do this. What can you see? Can you see a white? Okay. Wait, I'm just going to take the Ivan Brunetti page. Okay, I'm taking my pen. He said that to draw a character, even if you can't draw or if it's difficult, he created an alternative of drawing like sticky people like this. The first time I drew, okay. How can I come back? Okay. He give basic. Okay. So he said maybe you can take another page on your journal and just write down. He said draw down, not draw down. He said to draw a simple character, you can go to you draw the head like a circle, okay, and then for the body, he said you can draw a cutted cone. I mean, the cone can be like this, but cutted cone means like this for the body, okay. And then he said you can add small feature, a simple feature to make the face. Okay, like whoa, one triangle, and like for the eyes, like a simple shape, and like this, or you can go like a triangle, and okay, and has arm as limbs. You can go, he said, like spaghetti. Maybe it's Italian because like noodles, you know, you go like shape, not stiff, but curves. You can go like this and like this. You can also double those limbs with parallel lines, which I mean, like, I'm sorry, because I'm vertical and my iPad is going to fall. Okay. Like you can parallel those, okay. I don't want to make my iPad fall, okay. And as arm, as hand, he said snowball, which is like this, and very simple shoes. I like to draw like small boots, or I don't know. And then you have a basis from which, okay, from which maybe you can do small triangle to do the arm, or you can do like this, but maybe, and then you can add details. You can make maybe an haircut, you can put a hat, you can maybe add a pattern, or put something in their head, in their hands. I don't know, something like this is, it doesn't stick, it doesn't stay anymore, my iPad. Okay, so this is his way, and he also say like if you do the head like this, and then you can draw each and every shape for the, like the nose, and then you do like this, but you can also like add the wrinkles, and maybe add some eyebrows. You can do like the person is something like this, and then you can, once you have the shape, you can go the more. Some of you already are used to draw character. I would like to show you one, how can I show you one Ivan Brunetti drawing? He draws like this, but okay, so I'm going to, oops. So this is the head, okay, body. Then you have limbs, spaghetti, noodles, okay? Those are the bases. Then snowball, then maybe double lines, I don't know. And then this can be the same. Okay, and then you put baby glasses. Okay, this is your basis. And there are some but I think it's Gemma Correll I think it's her. She draw noses like hands. Have you ever noticed there are some cartoonists draw nose like this. Sometimes they look like tiny hands. And then you can put your eyes very far, or you can put them in the center. In very simple shape, you can decide to create, and then you can try. So, okay, I can do like this. So then we will have some exercise about this kind of drawing, but for today, before doing this, I would like to do some memory exercise. So you are going to take maybe 3 minutes to write down a list of all the things. Okay, maybe for Estelle, because you weren't there in April, sometimes we drew the journal, sometimes, as I don't remember if we did last time, as there is a shape we always going to look for, is writing list. Sometimes we write a list of what we did, like 10 items, then a list of what we saw. Sometimes we write down what we heard, and these words we put down on paper sometimes give us more fast access to our memory, to what we lived the past day. So we can go there and say, okay, I see this, I did that, I heard this one, maybe I can do this drawing. Okay, and this is quite the same, but we are just going to draw a list, sorry, to write a list of things that you know by heart. In 3 minutes, you are going to recap in your mind all the things that you know by heart. I mean, it can be song lyrics, poems from school, prayers, rules, sometimes advertising slogan, advertising little word, I don't know how to say, catchphrases, maybe there are some quotes. You don't have to write them down, you just have to make a list of them. So if you know this poem, you are not going to write the poem, you just write down the title. Did I explain myself? Do you have any doubt? Okay, so 3 minutes to make a list of like inventory of all the things that you know by heart. Par cœur, I don't know if you say this, but you, Deborah, can you, is it okay? How do you say it? No, I because I saw your face, like what, you know, things that you know in memory. I can see, you know, like poems or rhymes or song lyric, you say, okay, I know all the lyrics from that song or that poem or that school canteen, or I don't know how to say in English, but
Like old memories.
yes,
Old memories.
you stay and you think, okay, what do I know by heart? What do I know in, like, even, you know, sometimes there is advertising on TV, or maybe old advertising from TV that you see when you were younger, but you still know this catchphrase. Can you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, okay, I will start the timer, 3 minutes, and just you make a list, like, okay, I know all the words from that Christmas song. Okay, Christmas song. And you just make a list. As they come in your mind, you write them down. Okay, 1 minute to go. Okay. Okay, now you're going to pick one. You choose one of those things that you know by heart, and you're going to, no, you're going to recite to everybody. No, I'm joking. You pick one, and you pick one, and then you can't, after I give you the exercise, you can't change it. So you pick before, and then I give you the exercise. No acting is involved. I see you, Rebecca Beku, that you want to do it. If you want to act. So, okay, everybody picked one. I can see you all in the, Yumi, very good. So, everybody picked one. Now, you're going to, I'm going to say you try to, no, you're going to, without trying, you are going to make it, to take this thing that you choose and break it in 4 and illustrating it in 4 panels, 4 images, for drawings. If you have a small notebook like Setsgi, I remember last time you showed it's very small. As we said, maybe you can't divide it in 4, you just go by 1 pages. But you are going to make it for drawing to illustrate this memory. So if it's, I saw a list, so maybe if it's a recipe, you can break down the ingredient, or I don't know. If it's a poem, you can maybe write down the image that are created. If it's some longer things, maybe for real you acted in a play and you know all the lines, I don't know, you put in the image that comes and you go and you put it on paper. Can we do 3 minutes drawing? Maybe it's a bit, is a 3, 6, 9, 12, maybe 2 minute drawing. We start now with the first, or you can, you know that, we have, so 2 minute drawing starting now, so 8 minutes total. You can maybe break it down in 4 different drawing, or you want to take the first minute to write, or to decide where. This is up to you, how you approach this. And this is something then you can do further or with other things. Maybe with a longer timer. And this is just because I put more exercises and I want to be able to make the most of them. And then while you're drawing, try to always stay with your breath and feel also your body. Because when we work with memory, trying to recall and put this memory on paper, sometimes we create tension in our body because we are uncomfortable, because we are thinking about the result. And while drawing, always take the time to feel in the body when you are uncomfortable and loosen, leave the stiff part, like we did in the meditation, like you release. Okay, so second minute, second timer of 2 minutes, and then you have 2 more. As usual, I remember every day, every time, but remember, this is your journal. So what you do doesn't need to be beautiful to be shown, that it doesn't need to be a painting, a final one that you put on the wall. The journal is your place. The journal is not an object, is a room in which you go to release stress, to remember things. And try to go, and keep in mind that our brain, sometimes we see a stain and we see a face in this, like a stain on the wall and you can see a face. This means that we don't need to make a perfect drawing, photographic image to tell something. Our brain can translate in image a lot of signs. Okay. Okay, the third section. And you can just go, this can be, then you can also choose then to make something more accurate out of it. But this is the place to go grab in our mind the memory and make it into an image. So it can be also just a draft. How do you say? The first draft is when you're drawing your image became alive. A sketch, yes. So like when you are a kid, and I don't know if some of you did, maybe most of the kids did, is like playing while you draw, and your drawing is alive. You tell a story. It's like it's a way of vibrating with the memory. Okay, I guess it's the last part, the last square. I'm sure that so different image now can be drew. I'm looking. Okay, let's see everybody. Everybody's okay. I guess we have 3 people missing. I hope that everybody got the message of the Zoom info. Okay. So as you can probably, I never can tell this word, probably see, when you go pick something more far, more abstract, and maybe can be more difficult to put it in the image or not. But the thing is, when we practicing the graphic journaling, which most of you maybe is doing every day since the beginning of those meetings in April, and I don't know if you are every day doing the I did, I saw, I heard list before starting to draw. But if it's something you do every day, or you're planning and you look forward to your graphic journaling at night or in the morning, I don't know, you will see a shift like inception, because at the beginning you sit and you remember your day, and then you start remembering and you wrote down and then you draw. But does happen to anyone? For me, it's happening. It's like then there is something mirroring, reversing happening. I mean, while I'm living something, I'm more aware of what I will be writing on the list. Like I do something or I heard something and I like, oh, I must write down this thing. Like sitting down at night, remembering what we did, reflect on our everyday life, because we start being more present, not always, but more present about what we are doing, and we start thinking ahead of what we want to keep, because we want to put this on the list. And I think it's a nice circle of being aware of what we live. Did you notice maybe something you didn't and now you're starting doing? Is it for somebody who's here from the beginning? Did you starting noticing this? Let me see. I can see a dog. And if you want to say something, I heard the microphone, but I can't see who's opening.
Sezgi?
Yes, I can see you now.
I started taking either screenshots or photos when I do something, but I'm not drawing at the moment. But I say, oh, that's nice. I would like to draw this later.
Yes, you're starting to, like, the remembering and the acting living and say, okay, I want to remember this, start to melt, to mix together. And I would like to do another exercise about memory. We are going to start, everybody remember the spiral which we did to remember, maybe Estelle, you were and there, so, and okay, sometimes when you want to go, I don't have my English today. So sometimes when you want to come in your body, you know, come back in a centered place before drawing, and also maybe you want to remember something, you can just sit down, breathe, and occupy your hand, and like making it like exercise. Before going to run, you stretch a little, or this is the same. You can just put your pen in the middle of your page and start doing a spiral, and you concentrate on making lines of the spiral very near, but you don't want lines to touch. It can happen, it's okay, but you are concentrating on make an even spiral, and you go, and you use this time to make, like, you can divide your attention. You have your hand going and your breathing going, and your attention maybe goes at the beginning from the hand, then the hand learn how to go without you, and so you are on the breathing, and then, like in this case, we are going on a memory. We are going to work on a faraway memory, on something maybe happened to us in childhood. Don't pick something too traumatic, too hard, because we still have not a lot of time, and maybe you don't want to go far in something very dark, and not in this moment, but it's something you can do after. If you want to make it, then use this exercise to own your own memory, or own also the dark things you lived in your life. But maybe you can go look for some hard memory, some not the happiest memory you have, something that make you cringe, something that is a little hard, but if you can, don't pick the hardest, because we don't have a lot of time, and maybe can be, or maybe if you pick the hardest and then you want to shut down the camera and just cry, it's okay, but or continue the exercise can be helpful. But okay, we are going to take 2 minutes of spiral drawing starting now. You just stay with your breath. Use like we did at the beginning, you just stay with your breath, you do your spiral, and you just go, you follow some feeling, and you try to go back in your memory, searching for something that make you cringe, like not something very difficult, but can be something at school, or I don't know, some. And after this 2 minutes, we are going to write down a little list with questions I will ask you, and then do illustration. Okay, so you were going to write down small word, just a list. First question is, you can write down what happened, just one word, just to remember what you are going to work on. And then second question, you can write down what helped you to get through this moment. Was it something? What is someone? What is a place? Just write down a word. And then third question is how alive is this time, this moment in your mind?
Can you tell us more about that? How alive is this moment in your mind? What can you explain a bit more? What do you
Yes, how this moment is, like when you go back to this memory, you realize that it's something that still stings, or it's just something you say, no, it's just a faded memory, but I remember it very well, but it doesn't sting me anymore, or and if you can tell, and you can just write down maybe how long, how do you say in English? How long do you feel that this memory is staying with you? How much is this memory is staying with you? Like every day, or every birthday, or every time? Always, or just now you just remember it, so maybe not so much. You can just write down, just to verbalize, write down as a grocery shop list, just to verbalize what you have in mind. When we live and we feel something, we already know what we are feeling, but sometimes just writing it down make it more clear to see. So the last one is what form does it take, this image, this happening in the here and now? Like when you think about this, what form do you see? What image do you see? Is it a face? Is it a scene? Is it an object? What is the thing that you... And then maybe we can we are going to take maybe 3 minutes, maybe 2. I don't know what time is it. Okay, we are going to take 2 minutes to illustrate this kind of image. Okay, what did you see? Or is it the image that is a general one, or maybe the image you see when you think about all this is especially what helped you get through this? Maybe what you see is something that helped you going through this obstacle, doing through this problem. Or maybe you see something different, but you are going to put this image on paper and make it real. 2 minutes. And then it will depends on how you use the image in time of trouble. You maybe have different results. Sometimes we need to express more dark image. Sometimes we need more uplift image, and everything you will going to put on your page is your experience, is your memory. Okay, so how many of you, I don't have the way of seeing everybody, but how many of you drew, maybe you can write in the chat, if there is, if you drew something like the illustration of the problem you had, or if you drew the resolution of the thing happened. Okay, see Geraldine doing like this. No, I think you were going to activate the microphone. No, okay. Estelle is in the middle. You drew the...
I was drawing the problem, but I was gonna kind of do a sort of resolution in thought bubbles, but I didn't get around to doing that.
Okay, but okay, I see that there are messages in the chat. Okay, resolution, problem, moment, problem. Okay, so both, okay, because the next thing that we are going to do, okay, Fabiana, resolution, okay, perfetto, I can see everybody. I'm reading the, okay. I didn't want to read the name of the chat, but everybody can see the chat. So even if I read the name, it's okay, yeah? So, because, so the one who drew both, the thing is, when you do something like this, say you go back in your memory, and you try to see the memory from a place of not living it in the real moment, because if you go back in the memory, imagining you are drawing, you are a tree at school and someone push you to take your ball. I don't remember. I don't know if I can make an example, but if you go back in this memory, but you are still the 3 years old who get kicked to have the ball stolen, it's difficult then to understand what happened and to draw it. But the thing is, if you go a little bit from point of view a little bit further, farther, you can see what happened, what helped you, maybe a friend who picked you up, and you can ask yourself those kind of questions to understand the memory. And once you have the memory and you draw it, then the memory is like you take it and you put it on paper. And on paper is far, it can't hurt anymore, is there. But what you can do, if I don't think that a lot of you drew the resolution. Let me see, some, yes, because I remember, yes, some, but there is most the problem. So the resolution, it's very cool. What you can take is like, you take what you draw, and you really have this resolution, and you thank the resolution by drawing or making a collage or something of a frame around this. You make it important, okay? You do this thing, you frame it, and you give it like attention to stay with it a little bit more. But if you drew the problem, which means that stings a little bit this kind of problem, what you can do is like stay with yourself like maybe 1 minute, and then think about yourself now, okay? Yourself now. I put this example with when I'm 3 years old and somebody kicked me to take my ball. Now, what would I do, or what would I say to myself if I was traveling in time and then be there with me 3 years old? And so you can take maybe 2 minutes to, maybe we will take 3 minutes, so you can have the time to settle a little, see yourself now, and draw yourself now, making a resolution of the problem. So maybe me, I will draw myself, kick this person back and take back the ball, or maybe just tell something to my 3-year-old me and say, okay, you can do this, you can, I don't know, everybody knows for themselves, but you can draw this, you can draw in addition to the illustration you already done, or you can do a new one. Both are okay. Just you are making a fiction of something you lived. So it's like a mix of journaling and fiction, and you are adjusting your reality and telling your story on your own pages. I will make it start 3 minutes. So if you draw the resolution, take the time to draw a very cool frame all around this. Can be a frame, can be flowers, can be like botanical, something that go all around, can be colors. You can add some beauty in this resolution you drew. When you draw your journal, as we see the other day with the already with all the authors who do the autobiography works, you can see that sometimes yourself can become a character. This is the reason we do the Ivan Brunetti character fun exercise. And then you are your journal is the place to go and free all the thing you feel. Okay, so this is a very basic exercise. As you can see, with autobiography, there are a lot of like comic artists who used past experience to exercise them into a story, because sometimes telling our stories, even in our journal, is a way of owning our stories. Like we can see what happened from a little above, from a little farer. I don't know if you can say more far. And when you are living a memory, and the point of view is you who lived the memory, like the difficult memory, is very difficult to make sense. But when we draw something, we take distance. And when we take distance, we see better and we can repair things. So you can use it in your journal to talk about this, like take maybe 2 minutes to go back to the memory, and maybe then ask yourself, okay, where I am, what happened, what helped me go through this, what kind of image can I see, and then you draw, and then you change your story by drawing what you would do now to help you. So we have more exercise, but maybe this is a kind of easy. So we are going to finish with some drawing gem, like we did last time, the character gem. But now what we are going to do, I'm going to tell you what to draw, but you're not going to draw like we did in the character gem. You draw the poet, you draw the swimmer. No, now we see how we can draw a character. We see also how we can draw ourselves as a character, maybe in a hard memory, but also we can put ourselves as character in funny things, in crazy things, maybe when we dream, or maybe when we dream or daydream or something we want to happen. So just to finish, to lighten up a little, we are going to take maybe 30 seconds each drawing to go very fast, and we are trying to make a maximum amount. So what we are going to do is you are going to draw yourself in the Ivan Brunetti style. I mean, big head, like very simple shapes and noodle arm, but it will be yourself. So anybody know, if you always have hair like with, I don't know, with ponytail or with glasses, you know how to draw yourself. Okay, I will put the timer and then I will tell you how to draw yourself. Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, one more question. How many frames, just so that I can plan?
No, now you can, we are going to do maybe some of them.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Maybe more if 30 seconds, if we do at least 10 drawings.
Okay, but they don't have to be in frames, just wherever on the page.
No, 5 minutes, 10 drawings, 30 seconds, yes, it's like this. Just to go fast, 30 seconds.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so if you have big pages, you can divide it. Another thing, you can divide, I always say you can divide like this, because then it's easier to go back to your drawing and look for them. But some of you last time, I saw the drawing after the lesson, also use the page and then draw like on the page the different character. And this is very cute also. So maybe it's up to you then to find your own way. You can divide the pages or not. It's not strict. So you can draw yourself as a fruit, any fruit, maybe your favorite fruit. Fruit, frutto, fruit, fruit. Maybe I will not make the stopwatch make the sound every time. I'm just doing okay with the stopwatch, and then I will tell. So now you're going to draw yourself as an animal. Okay, now you are going to draw yourself as a monster. And, oops, no, sorry. And now you're going to draw yourself surfing with sharks. Yeehaw, wildlife. And now you're going to draw yourself as a statue in the museum. Now you're going to draw yourself dancing with a potato. Okay, now draw yourself running from a giant snowball. And now you're going to draw yourself as the goddess of fire. Or god of fire, as you wish.
Can you repeat the last one, please?
The god of fire. You can make the sound. Sorry. Two more. Next one. Draw yourself vomiting. And maybe we have time for two more. Okay, next one, draw yourself kissing with an alien. And then the last one, draw yourself shooting out of a volcano, of an active volcano. To finish. Pew! Okay. I think we are done. How do you feel? How does it go? Everybody's okay? Yeah. How was the volcano? Was it hot? So is there anybody who has a question or something? Everybody's okay. Justine, you're laughing. You're laughing at me. No, I'm joking. I'm like, because I have a camera. Okay. Okay. Are you all okay? Do you need a question, answer? Or... No, huh? Okay, cool. I guess I managed to record it, and I was thinking maybe I can send you a link if you want to see the replay. I think I can do this. So maybe I will send it also to people who didn't came. Everybody got okay the message on the Patreon page, like in the post. Is it okay to put it there? Okay, and then I will get back to the one who we have to see with the Patreon for the pledge. I will answer to all the message like maybe from tomorrow. I will have more time. And for now, if everybody is okay, I can say you thank you and bye-bye. Thank you, ciao, Geraldine, Charlotte, Lucy. I see everybody before. Everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ok, ciao care, bye bye tout le monde.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Grazie.
Prego, grazie. Ah.